I need these glasses like 6 hours ago. All right, we are now live. So I want to thank you for joining us on episode 38 of the PDR Think Take live show. And let me turn down this music because it's streaming on me right now. Where we're going to be talking about creating social media content for your PDR page, a PDR business or detail business or any automotive business. I think everybody can gain knowledge from this live Q&A podcast live show. So let's go around the room, introduce ourselves like we always do every week.
Dave from Windy City Dent Repair out of Chicago.
Ryan from RPS Dent Repair out of Baltimore.
And
you're
Chris
not in Baltimore right now.
No.
Definitely no Baltimore today.
Oh, my bad, guys. Let's see. Yeah. If anybody, what in the world? There you go, Ryan. Look where Ryan's at now. SEMA, right?
The SEMA show.
Man, when I grow up, I want to be just like you.
Out here fixing a Mustang for 4 hours today, and with no tools, a flathead screwdriver. So it's been a good day.
Wow. What was it, like hail or something?
No, it was like a car that's in the Ford booth that hit the Jersey wall. So yeah, it was cool.
Oh wow.
It's been fun. Outsourcing vinyl. It's been an interesting day. So
what's up, guys? What's up, Baz? John and Jonathan, he had a question. Let's see. Yep. All right, so let's get right into it. I know, Ryan, you don't have tools this time around unless you magically brought them on your trip.
No,
I figure we're gonna make this kind of a short video podcast, whatever, live show, and just talk about the stuff that I think we do quite well between the three of us. So who wants to start it off? What do you want to talk about when it comes to this social media content? Dave, let's let you start it off. What's the first thing?
So I was replying to Jonathan. So social media, just for creating social media content for the PDR business, it's something that I've been doing over the course of the last like 5 to 6 years, I would say. And I just simply started with Instagram. I was just happened to be posting. I was just proud of the work I was doing, and there was no one else in the area that I was working who was going to be proud of myself. So I knew that I could go to the internet and be able to post before and after pictures of my work. And then I think over the course of those years, the recognition that I was getting through the business side of things, and then also just my customers and the sales side of things, was huge. And I wasn't realizing the effect that it was having on my business just by posting simple before and after pictures.
Right.
And then just later down the road, it then just evolved into video. And that's when Instagram came out with video for their platform. So I started doing that. And it's been huge for the business. A lot of the advertising stuff in the early days was strictly social. So there was no Google ads, there was no Yelp. It was strictly Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube, and just trying to pump as much content as I possibly could to get the business name out there. And it ended up working. But it was a lot of work after work that had to be put in to make that actually successful.
What made you decide to start posting on Instagram? I know you probably have a personal page.
It wasn't getting recognition in the field. It wasn't getting recognition by the customers. I mean, the customers, oh my God, thank you so much. That looks so great. But the dealerships and the body shops and stuff like that, like I knew how good of a job I was doing. And there was still like, no, I need that pat on the back. I personally need that. Wow, that was great. And when you're not getting that, it's like, yo, what am I doing this for? You know what I mean? Like, why am I spending these countless hours trying to pick out this orange peel with the sharpest tool I have to get it from this 95 to 100%? And so,
so what is it? They call that what, dopamine?
Yeah, it is my dopamine. But like, so I started creating videos on it, so I could show either my friends later or show my bosses later, or just show other people later what I did and what I was able to accomplish with my craft and the skill. And it was just before and after photos, because that's all. That's just kind of how it was. It was just photos. I was just
So
do a
you're
simple before.
creating like your mobile.
I was creating
Your
content before I knew I
profile,
was creating
your
content.
portfolio. Yeah,
Yeah, I was
exactly.
creating content before I knew what I was actually doing.
So you started Instagram about what, 2 to 3 years ago?
No, I started Instagram probably about 5 to 6 years ago.
Is this the business one?
But yeah,
5 years
yeah,
ago. 5 years ago. Okay.
business was about 3 years ago, and then
Okay.
personal about 5, and I was dabbling with both. But
Ryan, when did you start your Instagram page for your
Probably
business?
4 years ago.
4 years
5
ago.
years ago. Yeah, 4 or 5 years
Okay.
ago.
I just think at 4 to 5 years ago, it kind of wasn't to gain any customers.
no,
It seemed like that wasn't the real reason to start the
there
Instagram
were no
when
ads
we
back
started
then.
it. Right, there were no
It's kind of
ads.
it's kind of a proposal, not a proposal, but a portfolio.
Portfolio, yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That's how I look at it.
Yeah, exactly. It was something that was free. You could put pictures on. If they do have an account, then hey, they can follow me and stuff like that. I don't think anybody kind of joined for grabbing a customer's attention. It's gotten what 4 times, 5 times as big as it is now, and I think it's probably the platform to post pictures on. So it's definitely benefits businesses now. And then with the ads, it's actually a good tool, a cheap tool to get out there. I
Hey,
feel as though.
we may have a special guest here in 1 minute, so we'll see if he pops in.
Okay, cool. All right, so going on that, what social media platforms do you actually use, guys? So we can
Everything.
Facebook,
Everything.
Instagram, YouTube,
Snapchat.
Snapchat.
Ryan, you on
If you,
Snapchat?
if Yeah, he's
Yeah.
on Snapchat. If you look at all my snaps.
I don't have a Snapchat.
and then I also like, I don't know if you want to consider it, but Google Plus. So any of the Google stuff.
Yep.
I dabble with that a
LinkedIn.
little bit. Yeah, LinkedIn.
So put it in order from first to maybe fifth.
Instagram, Facebook, YouTube. Instagram, Facebook, YouTube. And then at that point, the next 3 are just all kind of interchangeable, which would be LinkedIn, say like Google Plus, and then what was the other one that I said?
Snapchat.
Snapchat.
Snapchat's
So those
kind of like for fun.
Snapchat's more personal, I think. I don't use it more for business. I use it more for personal, but I still record. So if there are people that do follow me on there, they're seeing me throughout the day, snapping, and Snapchatting, kind of like
you gain
Instagram
business
stories.
from Snapchat? And what is the demographic that you gain?
Nah.
So
I
you
can't
know,
say-
Ryan.
I mean, I can't say I've directly gained business, but I know I have indirectly. And by indirectly, I mean my story is up there for 24 hours. And when they walk to their car at some point within those 24 hours and they see my story, like, oh, crap, that's right. I got to contact Dave. You know what I mean? So it's not like a direct, I guess B2C type thing. But it does work just keeping in the back of their mind and kind of showing what you're doing all day. And but it's more personal than Instagram or any of the other platforms, I think.
Okay. And I know Instagram just has a story section. Are you incorporating the stories now that are getting away from Snapchat now that the Instagram stories tend to have a better search
For work,
capabilities?
Yes. I
Okay.
got my buddy John here from Speed Design Custom Graphics. Chris, you remember Speed Design?
Yeah.
I remember John.
What's up, buddy?
He's all
He can't hear us.
stressed out.
Yeah.
Nah,
He probably can't hear you because we're in your ears.
He's over here playing with stickers.
That's what he does best.
Oh.
All right, so let's go over some of the apps that we use to post on these different platforms here. And I will agree I think YouTube is my my number one, and then it's Instagram and Facebook, which are very close. I would say second and third, and then that's really it. I try to jump on LinkedIn and I do the Google My Business more so than Google
Yeah.
Plus, I
Yeah.
guess.
Okay. That's what I was getting
So
at. Then, yeah.
okay, and that's still like so far on the list that it's I
Yeah.
have to have all of that stuff. Um,
I'm thankful for their
done yet.
reminders,
Yeah,
is what it is. I'm thankful for
exactly.
Google's
And
reminders.
I'll tell you, LinkedIn on the professional level, I've noticed a
Mhm.
difference, as in like people that work for corporations. So I stopped at Keystone. I have good relationships with Keystone. They're like, man, I see you posting on LinkedIn all the time. It's like your content's great. We're on an
Yeah.
airplane today. A guy sees a logo and he's like, I just saw your thing on LinkedIn. I have no clue who he was. You know what I mean? It's just a
Yeah.
different. It's a completely different avenue than
Y-
what we're used to using.
I really think LinkedIn is growing. They're
It
doing
is.
something different, and even some of the influencers are now posting on LinkedIn a little bit more.
Yeah.
So that's something that you definitely want to establish a great profile on, put
Yeah.
a little bit
Especially
of content on for right now and see where it
and
gets you.
engage and
Yeah.
network with the other people in there instead of walking into a dealership.
Hmm.
Cold turkey. You may be able to hit, just DM them through LinkedIn,
Yep.
directly to the owner or GM rather than going through 7 people on the floor.
And I mean, it's like the Jehovah Witness, at least in my house. No offense to anybody Jehovah Witness, but I do not answer the door. And when I do, they just never enter the house. And so it's the same way at the dealerships. When you walk into the dealerships, they just got this persona of I don't want to deal with anybody that approaches me.
Yeah.
But if they call you, oh, they're your best buddy. You thought you met him at a bar. Hey, buddy, I got the car parked
Yep.
inside for you. Come, see what you can do. Help me out. Hook me up. So it's like when you contact them through LinkedIn or they already know your work and what you produce. It's kind of an easier meeting, I guess, is the best way of saying it. So what are some of the apps on the social media platforms that we feel as though like the top 3? What are some of the apps that you use to better that content that's there? So probably we're talking about photos, guys, and we're talking about video here. So what apps do you use on your phone? I guess going for right now.
Final Cuts. I just started using that. I mean, that's all I'm really using.
And that's
Nothing
mainly
else.
for video for the
Yeah.
YouTube channel, right? Yep.
Yeah. Yep.
And Ryan, you just got your first video up. So anybody's in want to go see Ryan, you can't type right now. So let me see if I can find your YouTube channel. But go ahead and check out Ryan's YouTube channel. He just posted his probably what 4th or 5th video.
Yeah.
So go ahead and check that out. So what do you use for pictures, Ryan? What apps
iPhone.
do you use for pictures?
You just
None.
edit it
None at
through
all.
the app.
You edit it at all, or you just post?
Yeah. I mean, I edit it right on the phone.
Through
And
the app.
So you use the iPhone editor,
yeah.
like the just standard.
Yep. Yep.
Okay. All right. What do you do, Dave?
There's a couple apps that I use. Over, it's called Over, Over.
Okay.
I use that for editing the actual photo. It has a couple more options that Instagram will give you for photo editing, and it'll give you way more options than Facebook will for photo editing. And I can also add titles to it, or I can add like text to it, overlay certain things if I need to. So Over is one of the primary ones that I use. And then I also use Repost every now and then.
Okay.
And that's just to
I
repost
repost.
older
Yeah.
content. Just to repost older content from, a previous date. I'm trying to look at my phone now and see what else that a YouTube Studio. I use that, but that's just an easier way to
For
upload
analytics,
and
right?
analytics and stuff for YouTube.
Yeah. Okay.
Um,
So
and
let's just think
then
about Instagram since that's our number one. What is your workflow for the best picture on Instagram? As far
so
as the editing, I know we're
yeah,
going back
so
to
I mean,
yeah.
it just depends too if I've taken it with my actual camera or if I took it with my phone. Because those two quality of pictures are going to determine the editing style. Because one will get edited more than the other, just due to the quality of photo. So then what I'll do is I'll find the photo, find which one I want, go right into Over. I'll edit it, make it all nice, look pretty. I'll save it to the camera roll, and then just upload to Instagram.
Do you think that's an important step to edit? Does it, why do you take that extra step to just not just put it on like normal people? You brighten it up or whatever the case may be.
Because I want it to look good. You know what I mean?
Okay.
I want it to look like a quality photo, and it's not
Okay.
that just something that was slapped up there and
Right.
put together and then that's it.
Hey
Ryan,
guys,
what
I
do
don't
you,
want to cut you.
go ahead.
What with the photo editor? What do I do?
Yeah.
I
Are
mean, I'll use
you
that. There is an app called Pick Stitch
okay?
Mhm.
that you can kind of put both pictures together.
Okay.
You know, crop them in there. It'll divide them. Works really good for like a before and after. But I mean, I'm pretty basic with that. Most of my stuff.
Okay.
The biggest thing
Okay.
with social media is the consistency.
Yeah. So I'll tell you a little bit before we get into the consistency. I'll tell you a little bit of what I do. I prefer a edited picture. I'm a big believer that you have to look. Ryan dropped off. I'm a huge believer that you need to stand apart from pretty much anybody. So the person that's setting the bar for my portfolio is photographers. I try to not match, but get on
Mimic.
their level.
Yeah.
Yeah, as much as I possibly can, even though I'm just a PDR company. So I feel like it stands out from the rest. There's a lot of great PDR companies that post a lot of great content. I think DK Dentcraft, Don, he does more of the stories, lives. I think he does it every single day. So that's amazing. What's the guy? Oh man, I'm getting a brain fart.
We see
Manny
him every day
PDR.
too. Yeah, we
He
see him
literally
every
has
day
a
too.
video of all. If you look at his portfolio again, think of Instagram guys as your portfolio. So you want some of the best content up there. So Manny PDR has a bunch of videos. They all look the similar, but it all tells that story too. So I think that's a great kind of page that he's developed there. So what we do at Dentless Touch, since we have a few locations and I always want high quality pictures, is I use Lightroom now more so. It's just a way better editing tool than anything out there right now. It's $9 a month and you get free storage, I believe. So it goes from my camera, which I wouldn't show you that, but I'm actually recording from it. So it's a Canon M50. I think it's a fabulous camera if anybody's interested. But anyway, I pretty much go from the camera, sync it to the phone, and then it goes right into Lightroom. It gets an edit, and then it gets rated like 4 or 5 stars for me. And any one of my technicians or Crystal, my office, my ops manager, when she could post from those pictures. So all they have to do is just there's a link and they can see I have over 850 pictures in there that they can pick from at any given day, and then they put the text in their thumbnails that matter for what we're trying to do, and that's kind of my workflow. It's a little more than maybe some, but I feel like my Instagram at least is unique to me. I feel as though so, and I've watched that thing grown from crappy pictures all the way up to nice, high quality pictures, and it does matter when you start using your hashtags well, and doing high quality pictures. And we're not talking like some full
No,
frame $4,000 camera. And,
no, but just
I
a
don't.
good high quality picture where you actually
Yeah.
took the time to steady the camera, make sure there's no
Hmm.
blurriness, make sure that the lighting is good, it's not too dark, the blacks aren't all fuzzy and
Yeah.
grainy. Yeah, that stuff takes time. And when you do have high quality photos and high quality images, you get better engagement on these
Yeah.
platforms.
Yes.
It's I don't know if it's the way the eye sees these photos. I don't know what it actually is, but when you do have a higher quality photo, there is more engagement.
I think it comes down to the videos with the YouTube now. Like people are kind of demanding like 4K on the tech videos now. Like you're
Mhm.
kind of if vlogging 1080 is still fine, but they want you to be engaged. They want the music. They want good content. There's like standards that are being created. Instagram was like your iPhone 6 or 7. That was perfect. You were
Yeah.
compared to an Android because Android system was kind of acting weird with Instagram. I don't know if anybody knows about that. So all your little Android fans, y'all didn't get the good pictures until like this year. So
Yeah.
and they were literally like lower the resolution on any Android phone when you post to Instagram. So
Yeah.
you were already at a loss. But anyway, since like the iPhone 7, those pictures were fine. But right now in 2018, going into 2019, I mean, I feel like a DSLR with some common knowledge of photography is going to be kind of needed in this industry. I'm going to show you like a tip, guys, to take the perfect pictures, or not to take a better picture here. So let me show you guys
But
this.
like like the camera that I use, I picked it up for $300 off Craigslist.
Right, which was
And
what? What's the camera?
It's a Sony A6000.
Okay, great
And
camera.
so I think it was like 350 when it was all said and done. Then I ended up buying, another lens and battery and this and that. But for what I needed it to do and what I need it to do, it's absolutely perfect. That's what I film everything with. And I just change out the lenses, which can get pricey. But for the dollar amount for the camera itself, $300 wasn't bad. And I know the Canon that you're working off of now isn't, breaking the bank per se.
No, 550 brand new, I believe, or 650 brand new with the kit lens. So, I look at everything as an investment. If I'm gonna get that dollar back out, then I think it's a good investment. So I always call it cheap. So if y'all say, "Oh, these cameras are cheap," it's like it's cheap to the point where your return, your ROI is there. So, and it's definitely there for a camera.
If you properly use it, it's a tool. So you got to learn how to use the tool. And if you learn how to use it properly, then it will give you that return that you want. If you just buy, the camera, any camera, $300, $3,000, and just kind of set it and forget it, you're probably not going to get, everything that you want out of it.
Yeah. So this is a little tip, guys. It's called the rule of thirds. And as you see, the composition, to me, that matters. Most of these cameras can get the exposure and everything pretty much right. And as long as the little green box is highlighted, then that's what you're in focus. But the composition is all on you. The camera cannot help you out with composition. But if you're looking at the biker, he's on the far right, the right side line, and the picture has more space going towards the left, and that's because he's facing to the left. And so if you look at this picture, again, he's facing to the left. So you don't want to go towards his back and show what's ever on his back because he's not facing there. If you look at all of these, you go where you're facing. So if the car is facing, to the left, then you need to have more real estate to the left. Now, this is kind of playing off of a little trick composition, but you guys hopefully get the understanding of how to compose a better picture. And I'm not a photographer at all, but these are like simple mistakes I see people make all the time. And I mean, you can just kind of go like clockwork. I mean, everybody, you see how he's standing on the left, it just pushes that picture towards the right, where you need to have more, again, real estate on that screen for the right. So, and you can go on YouTube and figure out how to properly composition like a car or anything like that. I mean, there's tons of tutorials out there for that. So that's my little photography tip, guys. Hopefully you guys like that. Let's start going a little bit of. Do we have any questions?
Yeah, so I was just answering Curtis here and but so how much time in a week do you think you spend for social media editing and such? So I said I'll ballpark probably about an extra 10 to 20 hours in the week. It just depends on what sort of work I had during that week. So if I had a big job and I knew I was going to be on that car for 5, 6, 7, 8 hours, I'm going to have a lot of footage. I'm going to have a lot of content to go through, or a lot of footage to go through to create content. So that process, that post editing, or that whole that whole process is going to take longer. But if I had a busy week and I could only maybe snap a few photos here and there through that week, then that's all I got. And to edit those doesn't take that long. No. So it just depends on kind of like the workflow of the week itself and how much time I don't allot certain time for content creation. I incorporate it into the day.
Yeah, and I think I've learned that really from you. I was complaining about a little bit of no shows, and you were like, "Hey, what can we do?" And I was just stressed out. But you, like you said with me, you were like, "Let's figure out what makes sense here." And once we figured it out, it's like no show. I'm editing a video. I've
Yeah,
always
I mean,
have a
a
video
lot
in
of you
queue.
guys, if you have a customer
So,
that if you have a customer that cancels on you, reschedules for later, you're
mhm,
gonna, instead of just maybe grabbing lunch and sitting on your phone, or maybe just instead of just sitting on your phone waiting for that next stop, or either call that customer, see if they're gonna, if you can come earlier, that next appointment, see if you
yeah,
can come early. And that kind of what I was telling Chris, since he's at his shop, and if a customer doesn't show or something like that, that's not his fault. He can't control that. But
yeah,
what he can do is take that time that he would be working on that car and use it for something else that will be productive, which for him was all this time that he didn't have to edit videos
yeah,
after work. He now had an extra hour during the day to where he could do it, hour and a half, sometimes 2 hours, to
yeah,
where he doesn't have to do it at the end of the day. He did it during his day. And a
yeah,
lot of people don't think that's work. And that's what I don't like. People
yeah,
don't think, well, you're just, you're playing with the camera. No, that's all work. It's where I call it work
yeah.
after work. That's what I call it. I call it work after work.
And,
Um,
and most of this is like bathroom time. Like posting is not doesn't need to make it doesn't take a long time to edit a quick picture. Taking the picture maybe, but if you got the right thing, tripod, keep your camera on the tripod, boom, just set it up. Oh, that looks good. And again, the M50. Now, I'll have the 6000, but this little articulating screen, it comes in handy. It makes you very, very efficient. So you just get a little tripod, a little articulating screen. Okay, look good. Set the timer, hit the button, boom. It takes
get to
one or
work
two
on the
pictures and you're done. So that's definitely something I would get if you own any automotive business. I was actually jumping on a detailer friend, and I said, you got the iPhone 5. It's blurry. I mean, current day and age, it's a blurry picture, and you're a detailer, so you're into the details of cleaning, and I can't tell that. So it just didn't make any sense to me. I was like, why wouldn't you at least upgrade your iPhone to a 10 or something? So, those take great pictures during the day. And low light, they kind of suffer a little bit, but if you have an iPhone 10, start with that. I think that's a great camera, or the new stuff that's coming out now. But if you're a detailer or something like that, I mean, come on, you have to invest in your business here. So that's one tool on that. So also, when you go down the time, there is an app I'll show you. A lot of people use it. I don't use it per se. I used to use it like 3 years ago, but I'll show you the app really, really quick. It's called Buffer. So if you're interested, you set up automated post.
Oh,
And
that's really cool.
yeah, it's a very cool app, and you normally from your. I think you set it up a lot with your I'm sorry, your computer, and basically you could just do the Facebook, and I think you can set it all the way out to a month. So if you only have that hour, but you take pictures throughout the day, you can set up a whole month of automated posts, scheduled posts, and it gives you some products like analytics that's a little bit better for engagement. I mean, you can see that a lot of heavy hitters use it. So it's a very good product. It's called Buffer. If anybody's interested or kind of don't have the time to post every single day. Um, so as we're giving you these tips. What do you think, Dave, is the best time to post, or does that even matter?
No, it matters. It does
I
matter.
think so.
100% it matters. And it depends on what platform. To me, each platform has its own special time to post where you're going to get the
Most
greatest
engagement.
return out of that post. Yeah, the most engagement out of that post.
Mm-hmm.
So my breakdown for me is Facebook and Instagram in the morning. Um,
Okay.
Typically when I wake up, it's almost the first thing that I do next to checking emails and text messages that came in. Um, but the first thing I do is try to get that out there. I know I haven't been posting on Instagram lately, but I'll try to do it early in the morning, because then as people are waking up, they're checking their phones just like I just did, and they're scrolling through. And if I do have a good piece of content out there, I want them to engage with it. I think they're going to be the most engaged when they just roll over, they grab their phone, and they just start scrolling before they get, before they brush their teeth, before they get in the shower, before they go to work, even on the way to work, in traffic, they're scrolling. So I'm trying to hit them early in the morning as fast as I can. YouTube, it to me, it kind of just boils down to the day. I think there's a certain day that is better to post for YouTube. I just don't know about times. I would say the morning as well, but
so the knowledge I have with YouTube is that they look at the first 100 minutes that you post your video, make it live, and then they kind of calculate how good is your video. So if you have a lot of views, a lot of engagement, a lot of comments, a lot of likes within that 100 minutes, then they kind of go, okay, this may be an interesting video, because their computers can't watch your video. They're just going off of your clicks and engagement and comments.
Yeah, there's no emotion behind the videos.
Right. So their bots can't see what you're doing in the video. So, and they don't even know if it's interesting or not if they would. But so that's why, no one knows their algorithm, but it makes sense. And there's an optimal time to post when more people are going to be online. Meaning that out of that 100 minutes, more people will see that video, and then hopefully it will rank that video a little bit higher, because you don't post at 2 a.m. You post at 3 in the afternoon. When people are getting off of work, or their day is kind of dying down, and they're just strolling through Instagram. I mean, YouTube.
I mean, there's, what do we got now? We got a handful watching right now, which is nice. And I challenge everyone, if you don't have an Instagram, just to get it. And I would say post 3 times a day for 1 week and see the difference and what happens. And when I say posting 3 times, I mean 3 solid posts, not just 3 pictures with no caption, no tag, no nothing. No, a solid post with a caption, with good hashtags, a check-in, tagging people in the photo,
tagging businesses if you're at their business, location.
3 solid posts for a week, 3 times a day. 3 solid posts 3 times a day for a week, and I know the results will be good for people, because you're just being more relative to the community that you're a part of.
And Excel said at least schedule a video on YouTube.
100%.
That's good. And they have the new Premiere feature, which it's a hit and miss, I think, from a few people. But I'm gonna show you guys, and I hate to downplay this company here. I can't. But anyway, you can go to their Instagram. So hopefully you guys can see that. Okay. So there you go. You can't see it, but this is a dealership that's had their account for almost a year. Someone else does their social media. There is no engagement. There's no
likes. There's nothing on there.
And there's no likes. There's 0 likes on this picture, and it was posted 3 days ago. Matter of fact, let me go ahead and give them some help here. There you
go. 1 like.
So, hiring a company to do your Instagram is like the worst thing ever. If you have content, I say this all the time. I was like, there's a video out there of a lady just sitting there eating at restaurants, and she has over 100,000, subscribers. So you pushing a dent. I always say, a branding guy told me, tell the backstory on your Instagram. Your portfolio is nice to do before and after. And I think it needs to be like 50-50 now, like before and after, and some back end. Like, what do you got to do to actually repair those? That's what interests, anybody that's viewing your Instagram or want to follow you. So I guess ask yourself, what makes them follow you? What information can they gain? And I had to learn this from YouTube, because I was just, hey, follow me for today. But it's like, if I was watching a channel, what do I want to learn? And so same with my Instagram account. It's what am I trying to get out of this Instagram account? Is he always around exotic cars? I just like to see him post around exotic cars. Is it his Instagram story? So just find your little niche that you're comfortable with, and then consistency. I've actually been testing the fact of only posting twice a week to see what's going on. And I will say the negatives is the engagements go down. When I do post, I do get the same likes, but likes really don't matter if they're not clicking through to your profile and clicking through to your website. And so the more time I post, it captures more people, which then I get those click through.
Yeah,
So
and
if
that
that
kind of
makes
relates
sense.
to here. M Debt Repair said he finds Instagram to be a good business card while you're discussing potential jobs with new customers. But he said it's not necessarily good for marketing. And I said I definitely agree with it's a great portfolio. But then I also said it only takes one piece of content to change the view of it's not good for marketing. Because if you put that video out or put that picture out, and it takes you to land a new account, land you a new customer, whatever. So how are you going to say it's not? That's automatically changing the stigma of it's not good for marketing.
I would beg to differ that it's not good for
Yeah,
marketing. I opened up my Manassas shop, and the first thing we did was set up our Instagram account. And the technician that was working it posted about 10 pictures. Remember, I tell you, I have that pool of like 800. I think it's like 870 pictures now. And he posted a few that he had, and he does his Instagram stories. We had nothing. I mean, we literally didn't have an address. We didn't do the Google yet, and he had 2 customers straight from Instagram. And this is his own page. It didn't come from my page. I didn't say, hey, go follow my Manassas location. It was literally like, hey, I just saw you guys on Instagram because of the hashtags, the locations that I've set him up with. He found us through that. He was like, I didn't know you guys were here. And he's like, technically we're not open just yet, but I'll meet you at your house. So that was pretty cool. So that's like as strong as like Google Maps. And keep in mind, guys, your Twitter followers may not be on Instagram and your YouTube followers may not be on Twitter.
Correct.
But these are just different platforms that captures different people.
Markets, different people, different target markets.
That frequent those types of social media. Like I'm not on Twitter. It's all regurgitated information. Man, I love that word right now this week. But all regurgitated information from Instagram or YouTube or whatever. So, but there's a lot of heavy hitters on Twitter.
A lot.
If you start engaging on Twitter,
I can't understand. So I still, and like I remember when Twitter first came out, I still don't understand how the conversation flow goes on Twitter. I still don't understand it.
Man, yeah.
I do as well.
Tweeting and stuff. I'm like, I don't even get it.
I know, I don't get it either. So like for me, I'm the same way. It is regurgitated information. But yeah, your LinkedIn players may not be on Facebook. And I'm saying they're probably not on Instagram. And if they are, it's maybe just to watch their kids and see what they're doing on the gram. But yeah, the CEO of Kellogg's probably isn't Snapchatting his day. He's on LinkedIn and that's
he's probably on LinkedIn. And he probably has a Facebook. You'd be surprised how many people have a Facebook page.
Yeah.
And you can connect with, because Facebook, you got to watch Facebook because they see what LinkedIn is doing and they're slowly trying to, they're going to crush, what is it? Craigslist and all these offer ups. They're just crushing everything. So, definitely want to use some of the stuff that Facebook uses, the tools that they use. There's a lot of stuff that I used to use on Shopify that automatically sends their messages in the Facebook Messenger. So the Facebook Messenger is getting really, really popular, guys. So you just want to keep your what is it? The head to the ground or whatever, your ear to the ground, because they're constantly changing. But as far as content, we can go in a whole different thing about which platforms. But as far as content, we just did something about someone being honest to themselves. We keep talking about the photos, and hopefully we've helped you guys out with photos. Let's talk a little bit about video, Dave, and how we kind of create videos for different platforms, if that makes sense. Like, what would you create for Instagram storytelling, the stories compared to Instagram posts?
So it depends. I'll use Instagram stories either just to show what's going on throughout the day.
Okay.
That's primarily what I'll use it for. But if I do have like a badass video that I did make, I'll take clips of that and put it into the Instagram stories kind of as a preview. And if you want to see the whole thing, you're going to have to click on the profile and you're going to have to engage and, actually go to the post to see the full minute video rather than the story, which is, 20 seconds or whatever it is.
And I recommend guys to boost your video. Like if you have some good content, a great before and after that's like just out of this
Out of this,
world,
yeah.
throw it $20. If it gets you that one, our customer acquisition right now is around $22, if I remember correctly. I just did it like a couple months ago. But anyway, so if I can get one customer for spending that $20, I'm perfectly fine with that. But majority of the time, I'll get a series of like 5 or 6 customers. I get a bunch of inquiries about the pricing and all that stuff. But again, it's engagement. Instagram is gonna look at that. If you go to Passport BMW and their Instagram, like the actual location, I'm a top post. A PDR company that's top post on a BMW dealership, like that's just game over. So it's just those like key little things that you guys can do. And I really think it was because I boosted it just to get more engagement. I think I spent like $10 on the boost, just to try to see what it's doing. I'm always constantly learning. There's a story that a guy I'm always going on these tangents, but there's a story that a guy used to invest in this was a newspaper, $200,000 a year, and all of a sudden they just missed the boat, got all pissed off or whatever, but he didn't realize that until 1 year later, and he still went up the same percentage that he went up 10 years, and he never that he invested in it. So he spent the 200,000, went up 10%, sales every year. The minute he didn't spend the 200,000, it's just the check didn't clear and it just was an oversight on the whole company. They waited a whole nother year and like, wait, we didn't advertise here and we still went up 10%. So needless to say, they stopped advertising at that particular newspaper because it wasn't doing anything. So you never know what's not working until you kind of stop it or just play around with different things. So I can never tell anybody that, hey, the boost posts don't work if I've never tried it myself. I've tried it multiple times. So I've tried different texts. I've tried my little basic text of me kind of just working. But really, if you have nasty repair that you have a before and after, that I think is the best post, best post to boost. So just a little tip. And don't be boosting like the entire United States. This doesn't make any sense for you. So narrow that search down to your area that you're trying to capture. It just helps you out because if you're trying to do the United States, you need to probably do like $1,000 to $2,000 for sure. But if you do like your town or your few towns, 10-mile radius, at like $10, it's just going to be more of a potent advertising. So that's a little tip right there. So as far as video, I'll tell you what I do. I just do YouTube and I'm going to start doing the Facebook ads. So that's those little mini videos, all my little YouTube content. I'm going to start making, I'm going to make 10-second clips, guys. So I think that's going to be where, the attention span of anybody, of me, it's really going to be in the 10-second clips. So to create that, I think it's easier to take content that you've already created to make a 10-minute clip and bring it into an 8-second clip. Having more video is way better than having not enough video.
100%. 100%.
So I think just start with like a nice 3 to 4 minute repair and just condense that with the editing. And if you're not good with editing and you have like the new iPhone that shoots like 4K, it's fine. You can get someone from like Upwork to put together like a small ad with the videos that you supply. And you'll be surprised how talented those guys are for like $50 to $100. So you just need to know how to hold your phone right. And you're golden.
And if you do have an iPhone too, they have iMovie already on it. And if you're not fiddling around with that, you go to the YouTube app that's right next to that one. And then you go to YouTube, say how to work iMovie, and then you close out of that app and go to the app that you don't know how to use and learn it, and that's it. It's very simple. So that's how I started doing things in the beginning. It was just doing before and after photos with my phone. And then it was before and after videos just with my phone and iMovie. Yeah. And I did that for a very, very long time.
And try to stand out. I feel like,
Oh, I was moving my phone like, I mean, I would set it up on a wheel and then put the windshield wiper up and hold it against like on the hood, like just all these creative ways to get an angle. Because I didn't have a tripod, I didn't have any of these things. I just knew that I wanted to film it with my phone, and I had to put it in these weird, quirky spots. But then I would have a bunch of content or a bunch of footage when I would go home. And then I would just kind of play around with it while I was just sitting on the couch after dinner, something like that, playing around with iMovie, adding a title to it, seeing if I could put extra music on it, not their stock music. And it was all just on the phone, you know?
Yeah.
Which is super simple. When you add a camera, when you have an actual when you have an actual camera, that process is now just going to take longer. It's going to be a little more complicated. It's going to take a little longer, but it's still not impossible.
Yeah. For the last 10 minutes, guys, go ahead and put your questions in the chat, because we want to, the whole point of this is kind of engage with you guys. So any questions you guys have about content or social media, we're going to probably do some marketing and branding, obviously, topics here. But really, it's just the content, not being afraid of taking your pictures, being unique, and all that good stuff that we wanted to let you know. Of how to take a picture, the best what we do. You would not even know that we don't use our phones. We use our I guess you would call them DSLRs or whatever. So that's what I use 90% of the time. That's on my Instagram right now. It's all from my little Canon camera. So any questions, you guys, leave it in the chat for sure. And don't forget to give us a thumbs up on your way out if you can. But we are going to talk about, is that it? What was one of the, I'm trying to look for the list of stuff that we were talking about. Posting for engagement, frequency in posts, and camera angles. So, Dave, camera angles.
All of them.
All of them, right? Stand out, right?
It's tough. It's definitely tough, especially like someone as myself, and I know you too, but especially for myself when I'm out there all alone. First of all, I feel like a weirdo when I have my camera in my hand and I'm filming myself. I feel like a weirdo. I know I look like a weirdo. People are looking at me. What is he doing?
Yeah.
So you got to get over that. That is super tough to get over. The camera angles themselves, as you're either working on a customer's car or working around other people, and you're setting up your camera around the vehicle, and they're still looking at you like, what are you doing? And I'm trying to get the best angle here. Like, you have no clue how cool this is going to look when it's all said and done. But it's just like getting over that fear of doing these weird things. That's normally, if someone comes in and come fix your air conditioning unit or your hot water heater, and he's over here with a camera vlogging, like, you're gonna be like, yo, what are you doing? Why aren't you just fixing my water heater? But unless you understand it, they're like, yo, that's dope, like, that's really cool, like, you doing that. Can I get in there? Like, can I get in your video? Can we, like, if you know what's up? But if you don't, it's very, very hard to kind of get over that. Even with your phone, people are like, what are you doing, filming yourself or talking to your phone, or why is it set up over here? Like, I see it's on the floor facing me, but I'm trying to ask you a question, and I'm going to be, am I interrupting your video? Am I not? Like, I don't know. So that whole dynamic is weird. And getting the angles is tough when you're out there all alone. All you're doing is you have these static shots. You just have these single angle shots, and it's super hard when you go to edit, trying to just, they almost look like pictures. It's this angle, then it's just this angle, then it's another angle, but there's no movement within it. So that is very challenging, I think, when you're trying to film, at least what we do. When you're trying to film, it's hard to push a dent out and film what you're doing at the same time when you're by yourself.
Yeah, and also, if you do have the capabilities, to set up a tripod and a second light that actually allows you to see the fade on the camera, because most of the angles, your sight line is not where the camera's at, so they're not seeing how you're repairing the dents. Or if you are doing YouTube videos on that, I really like a line board type light. So if you're doing that, definitely try to set your camera so that your camera sees, the dent, and you pushing. That's another unique way of getting some footage. Other than that, we have a question here about it's off topic, but if you hate dealerships, what do you recommend for a new tech? I see you answered, Dave. You want to elaborate over?
So I said body shops and retail. I feel like I feel, and correct me if I'm wrong, but there's only three, I think, like main customers we have, which would be retail customers, which is your everyday, customer, your body shops, and your dealerships. Those are the three people that will use our services the most. And so if you're eliminating one, you still have the other two, which you can, and if you don't like the one, you still have another two. If you don't like body shop or retail, you can do dealership. Like you could pick between these three and have a combination of all three. You can have only two, you can have one. But for me, I would say body shop and retail. And I said using social media to promote the business in any free way possible. Because if you are a new tech, you're just going to be trying to get your name out there and build that brand.
Now, I say change the way you look at dealerships. If you're looking at it as I need money for my time, then dealerships is definitely obviously may be the worst option of the three. Yeah. Right. But if you're looking at it as opportunity,
right,
then it's probably the better opportunity, because if you do mess up, it's like, hey, you're going to need to paint that. And they're like, oh, okay, I'll send this to the bank guy.
True.
You mess up on a retail car, that's a negative review. That's time. I mean, that's
very true.
That can really crush your. Same way with body shops. Most of those body shops they're not going anywhere. That's a body shop that you can't walk into 10 years later because they remember you jacked up that car at one time.
Yep.
So I don't know. I would say use dealerships as an opportunity to learn. On top of that, dealership can give you 5 to 8 cars a day. You can't get that much in retail. I just don't. As a beginner tech, you're not going to be able to gain that many sales or that much a customer base in the first year where you're getting eight cars thrown at you a day.
Yeah.
So exactly what Straight Line says, dealerships, the opportunity is that it gives you experience so that when you are ready to step, you kind of stand tall, because you're standing in front of a customer and you got a nasty sharp dent, and knowing you've never got a sharp dent out of a brand new car, you're going to be intimidated by that bad boy. I'm telling you that. And if not, it's going to show. So you're going to be sitting out there for 5 hours. Meanwhile, they say, man, I should have called that other dent guy because I know he did that other dent in an hour. And you're just going to sit there and struggle. And they're going to be able to see exactly the frustration that you're having because you really are lacking in experience.
Yeah. Oh, I just told them, I said, you're slowly changing my mind right now as you speak. Because you are. Because and so I was just trying to answer. You
always look at it negative, man. And it's like, I don't know.
Well, and that's what I said. I said, those are definitely negatives. Because he said they seem to demand more of your time. Of his time, and they want to nickel and dime him, and that's their job to do. And so if you know that already, that's their job, and you go in there already knowing that that's going to happen, then
listen. I think, and we're so off topic here, but I think we all have that dealership or have had that dealership. I don't do them anymore, but I'm 14 years in, but my guy still goes to like 3 dealerships that is literally a push to paint. I'm gonna be completely honest with you. He literally can look the other way and push, and he'll be happy with it. So, so I always, I have to always explain to them, like, man, this kind of sucks. And I'm like, look, when will you get a chance to glass this repair or even get this repair? Because for one, you're going to want to quote it for, a serious amount of money because you know how much time that needs to be devoted into that. And I said, you really don't know how to do that. So let's do this repair. Charge a little bit of money for your time so it's not free and you're learning. And so most of them understand the opportunity. I mean, we call them rock lots, right? So that's what it is. I mean, some of them are worse than others. Some of them require, a lot more time, R&Is. But I mean, honestly, we don't have a drill policy on our company. But I mean, you drilling. I'm sorry, they just don't get that. They don't get it. I mean,
for me, it kind of goes back to, kind of why I started creating social media content with his question there. It's because, I wasn't getting that from the people I was working for, and that was primarily dealerships. And I'm like, I know I'm saving you so much money. And like, you could care less. Like, can you do that one and do it for cheaper? Like, I'm like, what the hell? And I'm over here taking pictures of it because like, I know what I just did. I know what I just saved.
Yeah.
and the nickeling and diming and demanding more of their time, like that just drains you over time. To me, I was just getting drained by that.
I wish, I need to get around to telling my story here, but before I even hired a single person, guys, I worked this rock lot. He gave me nasty repairs, pretty much like everything you see on my YouTube channel. That was almost on a weekly and daily basis. And that's why I'm kind of fast with those repairs. And it was only from 2. I get there at 2. It was an hour away from my house in traffic. If it was traffic, it was 2 hours. So if I didn't get there by 2 and I went there at 4, it would take me, I would get there at 6. I would take a Red Bull because there's no way I can drive 2 hours and then be ready to push them nasty dents out. He understood PDR. And so you needed to get it at least flat, like a solid 90%. Like he wanted to go through the auction blocks and no one picked up that it was PDR-able. That was PDR'd. So it needed to be looking good. And I think he was paying me, I don't know, his average was like $125 a car. It was the average. But it was at night. I did that really for 4 years. And I took every bit of that money and put it to the side. Minus when I started to expand the last year hiring people, I was able to buy them a truck, buy them tools. This is $10,000 investment that you got to put into a guy almost instantly. And so I didn't want to take that away from the family or any of my personal savings, which kind of that's all I really had because I just had a job. I didn't really have a business. So for 4 years, I worked until 11, 12 o'clock. I've worked there. This is what I did. I basically went a mile away to the 7-Eleven because I knew he was going to call me back. So at 11 o'clock, I'm at the 7-Eleven grabbing another Red Bull for the journey home. And I know he's going to call me and say, hey, you missed a dent. Not thank you. I didn't get a single thank you out of him this entire time. I worked my anniversary, my birthday. It didn't matter. Your set days were this day, which is Monday through Thursday. And if that fell on Christmas Day, it just fell on Christmas Day. It is what it is. Maybe he'll have one car. He worked just as hard. He was right there every time I did it. So, I definitely rubbed off on me. But I just want you guys to understand, you got to start from somewhere to get to where you want to be in your career. So if you're kind of, I don't know, too bougie to kind of start from that area, I really can't help you because I really didn't come from that. I put in the work and I'm still putting in the work, and I don't have a problem putting in the work because I know this is not where I'm going to, stop at. I know this is not the end of my journey.
It's all for something.
Right. Exactly. My vision is beyond, what we see here, but I don't know where it's going to take me, but I know my perspective is that work ethic is going to take me further than my head because I'm a little retarded.
and that work ethic is, and it ties back into this, creating social media content for your PDR business.
Exactly, man.
Guys, I appreciate that. No, just kidding. And that's like it all ties in. It all ties in. Like I said, the work after work, you're putting in that work now. Granted, you're not at a rock lot till 11 o'clock, but I know you're editing a video.
You know it. I mean, we're here at 10 o'clock at night, and we're here trying to give feedback for what we didn't have. And I think one of the things that motivates us to put these on is because if you start, being around like-minded individuals, I mean, it starts to rub off on you, kind of like that gentleman's the guy I worked for, his work ethic. I mean, the guy would drag his ass in from New York and literally say he'll work until 11, 12, 1 o'clock in the morning to get the cars back up on the truck. And it's like, man, dude, did this guy sleep? He's got two kids. And I'm like, well, I guess I shouldn't complain. I don't even, at that time, I didn't have any kids. So, it's just, I wish that everybody can kind of link up because that's what I started to do. I started getting the negativity away from me and started putting positive people around me that are building companies that I feel as though the right way, the honest way. And it just naturally just motivates you. So if you're feeling down that maybe the rock lot or any of these things are just not the great choice, it's a waste of time, get in with that painter that's there. I mean, he's there for a reason. It's not the best account, so get in with him, see what he's doing, see his attitude. He's going to have a different perspective on that account for sure.
Ask him to hold your camera if you're trying to film something.
Yeah. So let's not keep going back on the rock lots. Any useful information we can give you guys for creating, social media content? Go ahead, ask away before we wrap this up.
And leave in the comments too, like if you guys do have questions, we want to answer them or at least talk about stuff because sometimes we don't have anything to talk about because we talk about it all week. So it's like, well, what are we going to talk about? Like, I don't know. So if you guys do have anything, email us, DM us, comment, chat, whatever's easiest. We just want to give us something, even if you think it's asinine or, what would you want to talk about if we were all hanging out, grabbing coffee. So that would be highly appreciated.
Yeah. And if you guys have any question, we'll stay on for like another 3 or 4 minutes so you guys can get the questions into the chat. I'm pretty sure someone has anything. We went over the apps. We went over everything. We feel as though put a scan bar on my business card. A link to Instagram and fan. Okay. So I guess you put a scan bar, which is a QR code. So if anybody knows that the iPhone now picks up QR code, I know the Android phones did it quite well, or there's another app that you had to use. But iPhones, if you use a QR code, and I may do it on my truck, my van, but if you use a QR code and the person actually takes a picture of, let's say, my truck, and it's a big enough QR code, it would actually send them a link to a website or a contact information. I mean, whatever you want it to send. There's like an e-card with the little screen pops up and it's like save the contact information. Boom. Because that's why they're taking a picture of your truck anyway. So that's play around with the QR codes. There's like QR generators out there for free, guys. So that is another way to market.
Hey Chris, what's the I think it's wide angle would you use to take still photos for a website? What's the best? I would say that 16 millimeter.
Do you have it? I sent it. Did you get it?
No, I didn't get it yet, no. Maybe today,
tomorrow.
But I'd say like a 16 millimeter lens.
Yeah, it all depends on which camera you have. I do highly recommend the Canon M50 for sure if you have a little bit of the coin. But I have a 10 to 18. I was right in the front. 10 to 18 like standard zoom lens I got for $85 off of Facebook Marketplace. So that's what I shoot all my pictures off of right now.
Nice. And Excel, do you have any kind of setup routine when you shoot video to save time and keep consistent? So for me, I always, if I know if it's a job that I am filming, I always do the before video before I even get my tools out. Just so I know I have the before. Yeah, just so I have the before. So I always do that. I do. This dude, I'm broke. I got a phone. That's fine. Phone's just fine. So yeah, I always film the before I even get any tools out and stuff like that. And then depending on the area of where I'm working, that's going to kind of determine the angles that I'm going to get, and how much and just kind of the job itself of how long it's going to take it. And there's nothing that I really do to save time. It just adds more time regardless. Like there's nothing to really save time. I just know filming a repair is going to add more time. So I just kind of accept that. And then I kind of just enjoy the process as I'm doing it rather than it being more of a burden. Like, oh, I'm going to be late or anything like that. But I'll do the before shoot before I get my tools out. I'll do a couple of shots, mid repair, or maybe a couple of myself actually filming, and then I'll do the end, and that's it. But I just try to keep it consistent and kind of having a vision in my head of how I want the video to go, because that's just going to make what I'm actually filming a lot easier. Because I have a plan, not that I'm just out here just taking shots in different angles and I don't know how this is all going to work together. So that's kind of just what I do.
Excel Dent Repair has a pretty strong YouTube channel.
Yeah.
So guys, go ahead and check him out. He's doing something right, like his tags and the way he kind of SEO on that video. I believe he spends a lot of time on, as well as the videos are good too. But he knows what he's doing, guys. So check out his channel, and I'm pretty sure you'll get some information from him. What I do, and this is a challenge, but I think definitely the before picture. But I'm always trying to tell a story. I have a YouTube friend, and I think he now has like 100,000 subs now. But he's always telling me to tell a story, tell a story. So I'm trying to get better at telling a story of like what happened to the repair and how I'm going to attack it, and the tools I'm using. Those are the type of things that I think at least I would get out of the video if I was watching it. So that's kind of what I try to do the entire video. And you could probably tell from my videos, I've been slowly building some consistency. And then it even comes down to the edits. Like some of my videos are like drone shots and stuff like that, but it just causes me not to get out that many videos when I start doing that.
It just
So
gets
my
it
drone
makes
is
more
like
complicated.
sitting right over there. And I'm not even
These are all
using it.
tools, guys. I mean, that's all they are. They're all
Yeah.
tools, and a lot of times, sometimes they take long to set up or use, or now that's 3 different SD cards that I gotta upload onto my computer, and then take all that footage and
Now
put it into
take
Final Cut
20,
Pro,
30
and then when I'm in
minutes.
Final
Yeah.
Cut Pro, I'm uploading it all, which takes an hour just by itself to upload, and then I'm trying to have to go through each and every second of footage
Clip.
to find the best
You're
angles.
watching yourself like 4 times repair this.
Yeah. So, but Excel said, do you use anything for opening and closing when you're speaking to the camera? I still haven't gotten comfortable enough with that to where I have like a good cadence down in the beginning, before or after the video. I feel you do, especially with the before. Hey guys, this is
Yeah.
Chris, Dentless Touch, back again with another PDR YouTube video.
Yeah. There is some scripts that I like to stay consistent. It's because when the camera, even talking to you guys, like I get stuck, man.
That's the
I'm
time
definitely
saver.
not.
That would be the time
Book
saver
that
right
is called like Speaking Out Loud Without Freaking Out, I think it's called. And literally, like that is my struggle. Reading out loud and all that stuff, like that is my personal struggle. So as soon as I whip out that camera as a selfie view, I go, it's like I can't even talk.
Yeah.
So just have a script, at least in the beginning, and I kind of flow. I always tell myself, who cares? I can always delete it. No one's on the other end of this until I want them on the other end of this. So I kind of relax myself. But yeah, scripts do help me a lot.
What did you say?
What do you mean?
No one's on the end of this until what?
Yeah, until I want them to be, right? Because I'm recording through a selfie, right? So it's like I hit the record button, I get stuck. I'm we have a.
There's no one there. Yeah, there's no one there though.
I should do like a blooper video. You can be like, really, dude? Like you can't get that out. But it's like I don't know what it means, man. I don't know what it is. It's just as soon as I hit that record button, I'm looking at myself at the screen. It's like a double-edged sword here with the screen. I'm like, dear, so it's as when learning, starting my YouTube channel, like if you watch my video, like that's why I started it. I need to break out of my comfort zone. And so I could be one hell of a tech, but if no one knows that and I can't break out of certain things, you're only as strong as your weakest link. So if my weakest link is communication and speaking, I need to perfect that. And I thought the best way that I can do that without, just really messing with myself and going into like speak in front of people is to do it on YouTube. Once I get comfortable with that, now I'll be, I'm a little comfortable with speaking, the live show. Probably would have never done this 2 years ago, honestly. So hopefully that's it. We got a lot of questions here. Let's go through these questions pretty quick.
Just you want to kind of just bang those out real quick. So someone said,
what about tools? I saw.
He says he likes the tools in the front. I don't know, but he says the question is, what's the best car to practice on? So I said anywhere between 08 to 2014, okay. Hyundai, Toyota, or Honda. The metals
maybe
are
not the
really nice.
Honda.
It depends. Yeah, you get some high strength steel on there. Yeah.
Yeah. A dark color car.
Yeah, I would say Honda, Toyota, or Hyundai, just because the metal on those are, if they're not high strength steel, they're just great cars, easy cars to work on. Access is great. And the metal moves, fairly decent. If you're just practicing, you can screw them up enough to where that'll be fine. And then Pack Narland said, what kind of post gets the most likes or engagement? For me, I did say exotic cars. That kind of seems what hits the most for me. I don't know about yourself.
Yeah, exotic cars. Like maybe ask a question. Maybe ask. I always say ask for that engagement. So you can say, hey, which car do you like, top or bottom or whatever. That tends to
the
work.
poll feature on Instagram is nice.
Right. I always say if you don't have that exotic car, think of what you would want. You know, if you're the before and after pictures of Dent is great, but it doesn't really speak for people that are not PDR guys. And really maybe PDR guys probably get tired of it because they're like, oh, okay, I can fix it. But I always say put yourself in the photo. So maybe the full car, yourself working, don't look down where they don't see you because you're really, really working. But if you actually look at Mike Toledo's pictures that he comes out with, if anybody knows Mike Toledo, definitely look him up. He's very good with marketing and pretty much everything, like a staple of PDR marketing. But anyway, his pictures, like, they're not taking a dent out. The board is like way off. They're not seeing what they're doing. But for the picture, it tells the story. You see the light, you see the full light, you see the tools. They're standing where you can see their full body, their face, so you can make out who it is. And boom, you do like a little stage shot with some great lighting. So ideally for lighting is let the sun be on the back of the camera. So then you're getting most of the light. Boom, stage a picture. That looks great. Throw a little filter on it if you're not good with editing, and send it. You'll be surprised how many people, male and female now, will like your pictures because it's not a close-up of a dent that's there and the dent that's gone. So that's my recommendation. If you don't know, I'm the size of a refrigerator. Well, you need a wide-end lens, brother. Trust me, I can get the whole car, and the camera is probably only about 7 feet from the car. So
Ted Pusher here. Ted Pusher said, do you do Facebook Live? And I told him that I was for a little bit. And then I found out that the engagement I was getting was not there for me for how much battery it was wasting on my phone. So I'm like, it wasn't enough. So I'm like, and plus PDR is super boring to watch. So it's like that's how I was doing. I wasn't actually talking to anyone on Facebook Live. I was just showing like a repair process. But it's just me, a car, and banging it on the hood, and so it just didn't work. And I'm not like like I said, I don't know if I said it before, but I can get myself to be comfortable in front of the camera. I'm just not off the bat. So a lot of times, like, I won't be in front of a camera or do live streams and stuff like that because I'm not comfortable, But I can get myself to be if I'm filming a video or if I need to do something like our MTE videos, like those were fun and those were fine because you had a camera in your face too. So I knew I wasn't the only person doing it. Having someone else there, but actually talking to my phone and talking to people online, I'm just not completely comfortable yet.
I think we all struggle with that, but I think it comes
down to judgment. Like, what are people thinking? And I'm just like, I don't even want to put that in my head. So it's like, whatever.
But when you saw me with the camera, you were like, okay, all right, this is cool. So again, being around like-minded individuals and knowing what the end goal to bring you guys content of that MTE. I mean, I think me and Dave definitely struggle. It's like, hey, should we record this or just kind of have fun, just take pictures? And I mean, we almost didn't get that video out, but when we got the video out, Dave actually got a repost from Mobile Tech Expo for his video. So that was pretty cool that he, actually got it out and did his bad editing that he always does. So
that was actually really cool, and that was just something that I had created for social media for my PDR business. It was something that my business attends every single year. And it's Mobile Tech Expo. We filmed the entire thing. We created a video on it. We made it for ourselves and our business, and another business, which happened to be Mobile Tech Expo, really appreciated the video, reposted it on their, I think, Facebook page, and then also emailed to use it on their website as well. So I thought that was a great opportunity for something, I took a little extra time to do,
And if any of you guys have any questions, feel free to hit up me and Dave on Instagram or Facebook or email. If you have any questions about, camera equipment or, anything that we talk about now that you kind of need more of you have a question about, maybe we didn't touch on, I think we'll be more than happy to help, man. For sure. If you need to pull us to the side at MTE, like, hey, I need you to help me out with this. Yeah, no problem, man. I talk to people all the time, and I just want to see everybody do better. So if it takes 5 minutes to get, your pictures to be 50% better, it's well worth the time for me. So there you go. The more you hold the camera in your face, the faster you get used to it. Yeah, you're right.
So I'm actually responding right now, and it said, I'm saying it's just talking to the camera, knowing that others are going to watch it and caring about their judgment,
Yeah.
which I need to break out of. Like, I know I need to break out of that because, like, 10 people are going to like it. There's going to be 5 that don't. Like, it's going to be like, whatever. It doesn't matter. So I need to get over that. But it's just something it's in the works.
Well, we're gonna go ahead and wrap it up, guys. I want to thank you guys for the chat. Definitely was what do you call it? Lit now. I feel kind of old, right? I had to throw that in there. That thing was lit, man. So, but anyway,
yes, it was lit. It was lit.
Thanks, guys, for joining with us on at 10 o'clock p.m. here. And most of you guys join us every week, so we definitely appreciate the support. It definitely helps us out, motivates us. Don't forget to hit that thumbs up button if you haven't already, and subscribe to the channel. Anything you can do to help us, we'll keep bringing you this content, and we'll enjoy this whole journey together as we learn PDR in business. I think that's kind of 50-50 now. You got to know business and you got to know PDR, or good prepared. So, but if you have any topics, guys, feel free to go to the description. My email is in the description here. Where is it at?
My website's there, so you can contact me.
My website, and anybody's website is there. And we will be doing some workshops here soon. And that's it, guys. If you're interested in the shirt, pdrpride.com. Leave out the www for right now because I'm having a little issues with the website. But if you're interested in a Stay Den free shirt to show a little bit of support, it is just put in pdrpride.com, not the www for right now, once I get that figured out. So appreciate the support. Dave, do you want to do your plug here?
Dave with the City Dent Repair. You can find me on Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, LinkedIn, Snapchat.
God, man, you got it. Chris, Dentless Touch here, and definitely want to thank you guys. Appreciate all the support, guys. And we'll see you on the next live chat. Peace.